So PBS took one look at Bob the Builder and asked themselves, can we fix it? The answer? No, 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 no. Absolutely not. 100% not. I mean, you can't replace characters like, you've got classic Bob, you've got Scoop, you've got what I think the cat, you've got uh yeah, uh, who was that chick's name? I'm pretty sure Walter White was in a few episodes. There was that guy who was always messing stuff up. You know what I mean. Today we're going to fix Bob the Builders because we're the real heroes that this world needs and deserves. All right, so we're starting out small. We're just gonna kind of sketch out. That's gonna be his neck, and then we're gonna draw just some massive arms. I like to think in his time off, Bob was probably hitting the gym real hard, so we're gonna just kind of, you know, draw it real big, make it nice, nice and nice and nice and big. Maybe a little too big. I don't know. I think I might be going a bit too far. And again, I mean, at this point, do I really even have to apologize for the bad quality? It's in like every video. I mean, I'm sure you're used to it by now. It'll go away at like in like a few seconds, but like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, obviously, because I don't know what I'm doing at all. I mean, look at this drawing. This is a pretty clear indication I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Um, so let's now we're just drawing a hand, and hands are hard. So we're gonna draw the thumb and some fingers, and he's gonna be holding onto the handle of a big old sledgehammer. We're gonna just make sure, turn wherever you feel you need to. Then we're just gonna sketch out at his head. It's nice and round. And then boom. Now the drawing is just magically complete. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna draw the stripes on his arms. It's gonna be a little tricky. You kind of gotta contour the vertical stripes to like the shape of his arm, and then you gotta contour the horizontal stripes for like bulge. You know, he's a little big right now. And I think I'll get around to fixing that hand. It looks like all of his fingers have been broken severely. But I mean, with something like this, there's not much I can really say. Maybe one of these days I'll get around to like showing a video about freehand, but for right now, I mean, now his hand kind of, oh geez, it kind of looks like a catcher's mitt, so we're gonna try and fix that. And I think going simple with it is a better move right now. And so we're just gonna keep on touching up some stuff. Don't forget to turn the page to get the best angle for whatever you're drawing. And now we're gonna start adding ink. Just right over the graphite. I don't care. Some people do. Um, Man, he's looking very thick, very. He's stacked. He's. I mean, he's not a builder anymore. I think at this point he's already built. Jeez. Anyway, so just inking. We're not gonna ink in the stripes. We're actually gonna just do those with markers, and I'm probably, going to regret it. Um, just ink in all of the outlining we did apart from the striping, and and just keep doing what you do with the micron pen. And thanks to my awful editing, we're going to miss part of inking in his face. Only the most important details. See, there it is. It's already done. Make sure your paper doesn't blow away. And we're going to make that sledgehammer a little bigger just to make it more proportional a little bit, and also because this guy wields a huge hammer. You can already tell. I mean, look at his pecs. Um, so we're just gonna keep it on. Just ink in little spots, and I think we're just about ready to start using the actual marker. Nope, I lied. We're darkening a few spots. I don't like to go heavy with the black, but there are a few spots that need it. And now we're just going to use light cerulean blue as a base layer for his overalls. Just go over the whole thing. And just give it one layer, and then another one just to kind of smooth it out so you don't get like streaks and stuff. And then we're going to go all the way down to the bottom over his uh, stacked abs, and then we're just gonna keep going. Some blue slate for some dark shadows, a little bit underneath the pecs, you know, and then we're just gonna kind of blend it in some places, leave it as is somewhere else, some places else. I mean, who knows? Just do whatever you want with it. And we're just gonna, keep going and, you know, just keep, darkening spots where you think, shadows are coming from. Jeez, oh man, what have I gotten myself into? You can probably tell the light source for this drawing in particular is coming from hell because that's where I'm going for doing this. So we're gonna erase some, and then using yellow, we're gonna put down a base layer. Now we're on the stripes. This is gonna be the hardest part of the drawing. So the stripes, the checkered pattern, they're not stripes. They're yellow and orange, so we're laying down a base layer of yellow and a base layer of orange, and then we're gonna go over those base layers with other layers to add the shadow effect that we need. So we're using poppy red and blending it with the orange to darken it and to create a shadow. And we're gonna use all kinds of reds and yellows and oranges to help create these shadows effects that we need under his head to make it look like his head isn't just 2D, to make it look like there's a shadow there, that there's some depth there. Adding some crimson red, I think, and then some golden rod to darken that yellow, some Spanish orange just to add some variability, adding some poppy red, just to make it. We're not looking for perfection here. We're look since it's clothing. I'm not too concerned about perfection. Um, so it can be a little rough and imperfect, and I think that even fits the character better if it's a little rough and imperfect. So, you just got to keep putting down those base layers, and we're just gonna come right back through to darken in the spots that we need darkening. And yeah, I think I'm gonna just shut up now for a few minutes while you witness me just put down these base layers. I think nobody wants to hear me talk for that long. Well, sorry to tear you away from your jazzy tunes that you were obviously super into. But now that the base layer is down, we can start to add some darker colors and start to start to create some shading. You can see already starting to create some shading on his shoulder, using some golden rod and some Spanish orange just on top of that layer of yellow that we already added, and to try and emulate a round shape. And yeah, you can see I'm adding more goldenrod up there at the top. And then we're going to add some poppy red and some crimson red to those orange squares that are now red. I mean,
The orange is basically covered up at this point. The orange was just there as an indicator of where to go. I mean, that's really what it all it was for. And now we're just gonna keep plugging along, add some variability, add some texture to it, and then we're gonna add some more shadows like we did under his armpit. And then uh, just want to be very careful when you're adding this much ink. The markers do tend to bleed a lot, so you want to be really careful that the colors don't bleed into each other, especially with no actual black ink in between. I mean, these markers will bleed into each other very easily, just kind of like a paint. So you can see we're starting to add shadow on his bicep right down the middle there where you can see that dark red spot. Um, and we're just going to add some more variability through there and, darken up these orange and yellow spots to, give them more of that 3D effect that we're trying to, that we're kind of shooting for. Um, and then just keep on going, you know. Um, this this is a really difficult drawing. This is probably the hardest part. Now that his first sleeve is complete, we're gonna just kind of go yellow, Spanish orange, and goldenrod for the cuff just to make it yellow. And then we're just gonna try and add some of that same shadowing that we got going on the arm, on the neck. I don't think we got enough of it in there. And just do some cleanup erasing. Then we're just gonna keep going. And then we're going to add the hand. It's kind of surreal to, add a flesh color to something that looks like this. It makes it a lot more real, kind of creepy that this, once you add that flesh color, you're like, yep, this is a man, this is a person. It's just not some ripped, checkered picnic blanket anymore. And now we're laying down more base shading, so I'm going to shut up again and let you guys listen to music for a while. Plus, we're just going to be doing the exact same thing we did on the other arm, on this arm. So, I mean, you don't really need to have me tell you what to do. So, enjoy the music, I guess. All right, so now we're back. We're just adding light peach for the fingers, and then we're gonna kind of darken it in with regular peach, just to try and add some shadows. And then we're gonna actually add some brick beige to it, just to kind of add that kind of brownish color. We're going for a different kind of skin tone than we normally do. Then we're adding goldenrod for the highlights on the sledgehammer. Kind of the same thing we did in a previous video. They're just going to be very understated because I mean they're not going to be the highlight. They're not going to be the main thing that stands out in this video. I mean obviously the main thing that's going to stand out is his massive biceps. Um, and then we're gonna just move right on to his tool belt, which we're just gonna use sienna brown to fill it in. I mean just a kind of a flat color. We're not really gonna be too bothered with it. And then, we're moving on, his belt buckle, just yellow with a little bit of goldenrod, keep it real simple. His wrench is just going to be all blue slate with we're just going to leave some white areas, add a little bit of cerulean blue, and that's it. Now we're ready for his head. Going in there, we're just going to put down a base layer of light peach. Just be really, really careful around the eyes. Spots where the black marker is balled up like that tend to bleed when you go in there with Prisma marker, so just be really careful with it. And we're just gonna blend some peach into his face just to add some roundness to it. We're gonna, blend a bit more. Then we're gonna add the shadow from the top of his helmet. And it kind of comes down over his eyes a little bit, so again, just be careful not to smear it too much. Then we're gonna add a little shading around his mouth, just a little touch of peach there, just to give him a little bit of a chin. Add some shading on his nose, and then we're just gonna keep it on. Just make sure you're uh, keeping a consistent blend with the peach and the light peach, to make sure those two kind of go together to make one kind of good color. So we're trying to blend those together as much as possible. They rarely stay separate. Now for the helmet is just going to be yellow. I mean, we just want it to stand out. And there is just going to be one spot where we leave it white and another spot over here. And then we're just gonna just color in the rest. Those little reflections are just gonna stand out, make it look real nice. And then we're just gonna add some little dark spots with goldenrod, and that's all we're gonna do for that. Then we're just gonna add some dark brown to the sledgehammer just to, give it some more variability, give it some shadow. And then on the sledgehammer itself, the head of the sledgehammer is all blue slate, and we're going to leave some white spots just to make it look a little rough. And then we're going to go in with some true blue just to roughen it up a bit and give it a little bit more variability. And hot dang, this turned out to be a really good drawing. Probably some nightmare fuel. I'm not sure. I really think we could have, I don't know if this is what Bob would have wanted. I definitely don't think this is what public television wants. This is what I wanted when I heard there was a Bob the Builder reboot, but I mean, nobody cares what I think. If you liked this video, please drop a like, subscribe, all that. If you didn't like this video and it will be in your nightmares forever, I apologize profusely. I'm sorry. The shredded Bob the Builder was a decision that, you know, just uh, just probably shouldn't have been, but somehow is. I can't believe I drew it, and I apologize for those who need to see counselors after this, but I mean, if you're looking for art advice, you're probably coming to the wrong place. You know what? I'm gonna stop talking. I'll see you next week.